did we just see the peak when it comes to inflation? Well, the chances of inflation peaking in June at 9.1%, yeah, this does seem like it's possible. But does this mean that we're out of the woods? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, because many people are saying, and you look at the news and news outlets are telling us inflation has peaked, the stock market is up, and Americans are ready to get back to normal. Well, the stock market did rally because of all the good news regarding inflation. We know Tesla jumped by 7%, the Dow rose by 3.7%, and the S&P 500 increased by 5.5% as well. Those are all really good signs. But what I want you to understand is that right now, even though we may have reached our peak, it doesn't mean inflation is going to drop all the way down to 2% like the Federal Reserve wants. Is there a chance? Yes. Are we going to get there tomorrow or next month or in the first quarter of 2023? Chances are no, we will not get there. Two of the major factors when it comes to inflation are food and energy prices. Now, everybody was talking about how we have seen energy prices are coming down, right? Well, yes and no. They came down in October. Awesome. But what was October? The month right before the midterm elections. And what did the American people worry about the most? Inflation, gas prices. So what did the Biden administration do? They brought down prices for energy, for gas. That is what they did. We know that. We've seen it. We've talked about it. It should be no surprise. We knew the inflation rate was going to come down a little bit. But it went from 8.2. The expectation was 7.9. It came in at 7.7. So a little bit better than what we were expecting. Now, in order to see food and energy prices decrease, we need to see demand destruction amongst consumers. But the problem right now is that we won't see demand destruction on these essential items until consumers stop spending money on other goods. We are still overpaying for new vehicles. Who is still looking for a new vehicle right now in 2022? We've had all of 2020, 2021, and most of 2022. We should have bought them already. Why do we need a new vehicle? Well, I talked about this morning, where I actually talked to a head of manufacturing from one of the large car companies, and he told me that his company is fine with producing less vehicles, manufacturing less vehicles, because that actually increases their the desire for that vehicle. It increases its value, which means they can sell for more money. They produce less cars, but they make the same amount of profit. How crazy is that? Now, it will only be when we see the price of food and energy hit its peak and start a downward trajectory that I personally believe we will see inflation really drop. And keep in mind, the CPI report that came out today was for October. And again, the Biden administration has been telling us for months they're going to do everything in their power to bring down costs for the American people. And how'd they do that? Well, number one, they pulled 180 million barrels of oil out of our strategic petroleum reserve. This brought down the price of gas. It brought down the price of oil. Okay, this ended at the end of October. And also on November 1st, we learned this much before, or much sooner than that, but on November 1st, OPEC Plus was going to cut its oil output by 2 million barrels of oil per day. Those two things are going to increase the cost of oil. Now, keep in mind, it takes time, right? A lot of the information that we get is lagging information. All the stuff happens early and then we get the reports, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month later. That's a problem because the American people want information now, right? We need it instantly. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask this question, so I'm going to address this right now. Do you think inflation will continue to drop? And I know people are going to ask this because this is what I got asked multiple times after this morning's video. Here's my answer. My answer is no. Okay? I think there's still too many variables right now that we need to consider when it comes to keeping inflation under 7%. right? We're at 7.7, so we still haven't got to that 7% mark, but I do think there's too many issues right now. Also, with that said, do I think we've reached our peak? The answer is yes. I think we've reached our peak back in June when we were hitting 9.1%. I don't think we're going to get back over 9% inflation anytime soon. It could potentially be decades, right? And the reason is because the Federal Reserve is not going to stop raising rates until they have pretty much been assured that there has been enough demand destruction to keep the American people from buying unnecessary goods, right? Like a new vehicle. I'm not saying we shouldn't buy those things. I'm just saying not every single American needs to buy that, especially in times when we are seeing inflation where it's at, energy costs where they're at, food costs where they are at. So, what do I expect to happen? Well, here's what I expect to happen over the next couple of weeks. I expect the stock market is likely to see a rally. I do. But at the same time, if we see inflation, the CPI report come out on December 13th, okay, that's in over a month. If we see that go up and it doesn't come down to, let's say, 7.5% or lower, we see it go up. Here's the problem there. We are likely to see the stock market, the rally that we get over the next few weeks, we're likely to see that reverse. And then if the Federal Reserve comes out on December 14th and raises rates at 75 basis points and gives us some interesting projections moving forward, then and only then I can see us dropping further. The stock market really selling off. All right? One thing I just want to warn you on, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. All I can tell you is be careful. There are many economists out there that are still telling us that we still have a ways to go before we see the end of inflation, before we see the housing prices peak. There are some places where housing prices are still going up. How insane is that? When we went from having interest rates under 3%, now we were up over 7%. They've come back down as of today, but still around 7%. So we have more than doubled our 30-year fixed rate mortgage, yet prices are still going up. And that's a difficult situation to be in when prices are still going up. And on top of that, you're paying double for interest. That's crazy. That is crazy. I remember seeing a report just the other day that said if you were to buy a $500,000 home back in 2020 or 2021 when interest rates were under 3%, now if you were to get that same monthly payment, all you could afford is a $300,000 house. So you lose $200,000 worth of purchasing power simply because of interest rates. That's crazy. But the last thing I want to tell you is, do I think inflation has peaked? Yes, but be very careful with how it has peaked. Is 7.7% the end and we're never going to go back up? No, that is not what people are saying. What people are saying, what economists are telling us, is at 9.1%. That is where the peak is, not 7.7. So that is still a fairly wide gap of 1.4%. So do I think we have room to go back up? Yes, I do. Am I hoping for that? Absolutely not. But we will see what happens moving forward. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.